Greetings from Podcast Junkies.
That sucked.
I was trying to do the Tires Greetings radio ad to start the show.
That was awful.
Oh, God. Maybe it's because Pace is on in the background, whatever. We'll redo the Greetings from Podcast Junkies in Boca Raton. Swice here with the MVP show. Co-host Mons. We just ate a bunch of grilled chicken. How you feeling?
Feel great.
Yeah.
Housed it.
Attaboy. SEC any given Saturdays. We'll talk about that more.
Big deal.
Later when we talk about SEC football. But first, we have a very special guest who will be linking up next week at Bet Bash. Welcome Andrew Pace from In Play Live to the show.
What's up, guys? Good to see you.
Andrew, good to see you, bro. I'm going to say the one person I know that has a better TV setup than me is you. I guess we'll start there. I have 5 TVs, but you got a lot more screens and stuff. How did that? What's the backstory behind that setup? You know, tell the viewers a little bit more about your TV setup that definitely went viral across the internet, and I definitely love as a guy who has 5 TVs myself. But you outdid me, so let's start there.
Oh man, this could actually take a little bit. I'll try to crush through it as quickly as I possibly can. So when I first got into sports betting, I was a poker player, and it was immediate in my mind that if I'm gonna bet on the game, I'm gonna watch the game. I maybe there's a disconnect that I don't really know about with maybe some people in the public that wouldn't think that way, but literally placed a bet on the Saturday for an NFL parlay on Sunday. I think I took the Niners and the Saints. It was would have been Alex Smith and Drew Brees to cover a spread, and we had like a weird format of sports betting here at the time where you had to go to the local corner store and like punch out a little pencil, it was like a Scantron in a university test to make your picks, and then you submit it, and I put $50 down on this parlay, and I think it paid out like maybe plus 200 approximately. And it was instant. I just, I went on to Craigslist at the time and I bought 2 screens to make sure I could watch both games at the same time for the next day. So I think I spent maybe $50 or $75 on each screen and had total just mismatching screens in my living room. And that was the start of it. And the 2 screens quickly became 6 screens. And then, yeah, I just sort of took the approach of like, with live betting in general, separately of the setup, was if you're going to bet, you got to know what it is that you're betting on. And in order to know what you're betting on, in my opinion, there's more to it than just moving lines on sports books. Now, that certainly is a way that you can profit and win from betting. You can never have a game on in your life. You can arbitrage, you can middle, you can bet the soft side of a line, provided that you believe that one book is sharper than the other. But for me, it has always been on field, on rink, on court, eyes on game. So I that was the start of the journey. And then obviously when you start getting into college sports, you need a lot of freaking screens. So that's kind of where the HQ is founded. And yeah, it's kind of like a NASA sports betting layer at this point, where you couldn't pay me to go attend a game anymore.
Wow.
I do not attend games, period. And the reason is if I can recreationally get out to a hockey game when there's no other sports on that night, I will take the opportunity and I will go do it. But aside from that, I don't want to be at the game. It's long lines to get a drink, hard to go to the bathroom, hard to get food, hard to get bets in with terrible service and terrible Wi-Fi in the stadiums, and you miss every other game that's on. So obviously the fastest feed is the one that when you're sitting in the seats at the game, but try to do my best to get the best access to the fastest feeds possible. And that's a big part of the setup that I have here. And believe it or not, I'm actually fully editing, and I'm moving this month. So before this call, I was labeling boxes, taking apart boxes, drawing out diagrams for how I can improve things in my new space. And I think I got some pretty cool ideas. So I'm excited for it to all come into fruition here.
Yeah, that'll be awesome there. In terms of live betting, I mean, us ourselves at Make Vegas Pay are definitely, and you, of course, are some of the few that are doing it in the space. What do you think makes it unappealing or difficult for other handicappers or services like ourselves in terms of offering a live betting, product or service or just picks in general.
Sorry, do you mean like why other services don't do live?
Yeah, like why a lot of like handicappers or consultants, whatever you want to call the people in the space, just only offer pregame and are either too lazy or just don't do live for some reason. Don't give out live picks.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question. I think that the obvious answer is just simply time. I can tell you that I like the Bengals in week 1. I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of time to go place that, whether you're telling them that on Sunday morning before kickoff or whether you're telling them a week in advance. The line movement obviously does occur pregame, and the devil's in the details. That variance is oftentimes the difference of value versus not. But separately of that, people that want to be given picks or want to buy picks, um, the they tend to not care so much about the line. So it's like, oh, if such and such likes the Bengals, I don't care if I'm buying 5.5 instead of 4.5. They still end up buying the pick and probably losing money over time, not only to the house, but also to the pick service itself. But I think the simple answer is time. With live betting, you have such a small window to get the line that has an edge on it, and that makes things infinitely challenging for the service offering the live betting, and also, of course, the user on the other side who is now trying to find a line that might not even exist by the time it's already been taken by the person who called it.
Yeah, that can definitely be. We've been preaching at Make Vegas Pay that getting in a bet right before halftime for NFL and then sending that out to give them that time and avoid, hey, you could be 100% right on these live picks, but if your customers or audience can't really get it in or the line moves completely within a second of you sending that out, then that's kind of irrelevant in my eyes for, hey, your record's 95%, but you're sending out 60% of those plays that they can't even get. But going back to that, I did see your recent video on the I think it was the basketball live streaming and how much of a delay there was.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Can you
yeah, yeah,
talk
yeah,
more
yeah.
about that and how are able to help your clients and advise other people on yeah, you can get great lines live, but there's definitely a time latency issue, especially with these streaming services.
Yeah, and I think that there's no there. I think what people want is they want this one stop fits all solution, and unfortunately, we actually had that to an extent 10 to 20 years ago. And it was whether you bought a satellite package or a cable package, you were in general getting pretty solid feeds. I think it was the Janet Jackson nip slip that changed cable and live sports viewing forever, where they started putting these delays on the feeds. But even after that, the latency of a coaxial feed was, I would say, around 10 seconds behind what was going down on the court, the rink, or the field. And that honestly to me is reasonable. It's kind of like, as a bettor, you're on par with the sports books. So you're going to see this at Bet Bash. There's a whole whack of people out there that are beating the sports books via court siding. Another term could be viewed as cheating. Now, I'm a believer in, if the sports books have access to the same information that we all have access to, first to market, first to line, whoever's the fastest. If I can beat you to a line or a situation, and you weren't prepared for it, then that's on you as the sports book for providing the line. However, that is not how I make my money betting. And I actually believe that getting rid of a lot of that in the industry would help winning players that legitimately win, because I will oftentimes be lumped in with a group of, again, for lack of a better term, cheaters, that are somehow maliciously abusing the sports books for their gain. Again, I'm not against what those people are doing, but I've been lumped in with them. If everyone's on the
Hmm.
same playing field, if everyone's in an equal situation, it's me against you. You can't put me in that bucket anymore. So I do want a level playing field when it comes to that. However, keeping that playing field level from a viewing standpoint is as difficult as it could possibly be today. And there's so many reasons for it. The first is, let's just take the NFL because it's the biggest, best, brightest. Um, they are sitting there with the rights to their various channels and packages and different games, going, how can we make the most money possible? And they have a fiduciary responsibility to do exactly that. So Thursday night football belongs to Amazon Prime. You cannot watch it unless you have an Amazon Prime subscription. If you want to watch the Sunday ticket, you got to do it on YouTube TV. If you want to watch the Christmas games, you got to do it on Netflix. And now there's some big breaking news that's I think coming out today. It maybe already came out. ESPN and Disney, they're in a situation where they've gotten the opportunity to, I believe, I don't know if this is accurate right now, but it sounds like it's happening. Have the rights to the Red Zone and the NFL Network. So just between what I've just said there and separately of having like Fox, NBC, ABC, all the other channels and stations that broadcast these games, you've got to have a whole slew of different subscriptions to be able to watch everything. It isn't simple, it isn't easy. Then you bring in the layer of latency where you go,
Hmm.
okay, Amazon Prime cares about latency. Their Thursday night football feed is one of the fastest, especially compared to the other options that I just listed. Okay, well, where do we stand with YouTube TV? It's 20-25 seconds behind what's going on the field. So, what are my alternatives to watching the game? Beyond that or besides that. So for me and what we do at In Play Live, we have to do the best possible job to level the playing field for myself as a bettor, and then obviously for the people that are following my advice. And I would say that given the nature of live betting and the fact that you do only have a very small window of time to get in a wager that would be considered plus EV, the line moves and all of a sudden it isn't anymore, or maybe the other side potentially becomes have some sort of edge on it. You have to put yourself in the best position possible. Now, sports books have largely moved in the right direction to provide us with really good feeds. I actually think there's some representatives in Florida working for BetVision, and that's where on the FanDuel's gosh, the Caesars, you can actually watch NFL games and it's literally like 4 seconds behind what's happening on the field, which is just remarkable. That's exactly what we want. In fact, there was a small window of time where they were giving their feeds were ahead of their lines and you could watch
Oh,
the feed
wow.
on their site and beat them to it. It's a very, very short window and just a handful of sports books, but the odds provider Canby, who powers Bet Rivers and a few others, they were offering the feeds and you could bet ahead of their own lines, which I get a kick out of that kind of stuff. Um, so I think things are heading in the right direction to an extent where we're starting to see some viable solutions. But at the same time, because of all the reasons I just gave, it certainly is a challenge. So what do? I got the best feed possible at all times, whether I'm using VPN, whether I'm getting a feed from another country, whether it's local here, whether it's a sports book. I've got access to it. That's number one. Number two is using sports books to figure out what is going on in the games can be fast, but oftentimes is largely ineffective because they know that if they provide the player with inaccurate information, the player could make a decision based on that information that will cost them dearly. So using it as maybe a third source where you go, okay, I've seen it with my eyes, they've shown it here, and now I'm using another source, and that next source for me is usually going to be something like the Score and or Apple Sports. But you want to make sure that whatever information you are getting um, isn't all driven by the same company. And this is something that you'll see commonly where the wrong scores posted on a betting site or a certain website like ESPN, and all the sports books that you're looking at have the same incorrect score in that same situation. That's because BetRadar is powering almost all of those books or all their data feeds. So they're all being given the wrong information at the same time. So you need to make sure that when you're doing things where you don't actually see it yourself, that you have a way to verify which one is truly accurate. So yeah, we're using text feeds, we're using visual feeds. We've definitely got some great live feeds that we're watching and do everything in our power to again to level the playing field and do things as accurately as we possibly can.
So Andrew, let me ask, what does an average, college football Saturday, NFL Sunday, what does it look like for you, your team, and your, most importantly, your community? Are you having them in your platform, in your Discord, your server, ready for you to send out plays, and they have to be ready to go 24/7? How does that look?
Yeah. So I'm glad that you brought up Saturdays. So the first thing for me personally as a bettor is I've done zero research before the games start, and that probably sounds totally
I
crazy.
love it.
There's a reason for it, and the reason why is because if I know that, I don't know, Hendon Hooker's arms hurting him, or um, Jackson Dart's not, had a stomach flu because I read a bunch of articles the day before. I don't want that bias. I want to head on the field with the players, lock in and see what I'm seeing in real time with my own eyes. That allows me. Bias is inevitable. It is a human emotional reality that us as bettors all have to face. We all have bias. If I had a real hard time betting against Tom Brady, probably because it would have cost me a lot of money over the last 20 years. But in general, I started to really fall in love with him as a player, to my detriment in some cases. But bias is inevitable. But what I'm saying is ultimately designed to limit bias as much as possible. I want to fall into Saturday and not, have done a bunch of research, looked at lines, any of that kind of stuff. Now, 8:50 a.m. Pacific, because I'm on the West Coast, so that's 11:50 a.m. Eastern time. We have Sandstorm playing every Saturday to kick off college. We call them Sandstorm Saturdays. We're on a Zoom webinar with our members, and at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern, it's kickoff, and we are live streaming where we don't, text out a play ever. It's all real time betting. So as I'm spinning bets, I am saying what I'm spinning. And then when we get the chance to go enter those bets into a tracker with a little bit of a downtime, that's when we go and do that so that people can follow along with what it is that we're cheering in, what's won, what's lost, how we're doing for the day, all that kind of stuff. But I am live for 14 hours every single Saturday through college
Wow.
football. So the entirety
Wow.
of the day, it's insane.
That's
They're
awesome.
absolute marathon streams. They're tons of fun, but yeah, they're a lot. Definitely not getting a lot of steps on the Fitbit on those.
Nah, I bet that beer at 1 a.m. feels great or
Oh
whatever.
man.
So
It's hard to fall asleep afterwards. You're buzzing. You are buzzing.
So let me ask, because I know what you were talking about a little earlier with the, you called it court siding or cheating, in other words. I'm very familiar with that. I've actually been a caller for some minor league games down here in, Port St. Lucie for the Mets, and Jupiter with the Cardinals and Nationals and Astros, all them.
He's a great caller with the baseball
Yeah,
games.
great baseball,
Play-by-play
spring
guy.
training caller for a number of sharp groups down here in South Florida. So it doesn't sound like you do anything with someone live in the stands. It's all just your feed, but then the Zoom group is basically similar to what the courtsiders do. They call into a Zoom, and a bunch of sharps get into that Zoom, and they bet on their plethora of books. It's kind of the same with you. It's just the only difference is you do it through a live, the best feed that you can possibly have.
Yeah, but we are actually calling bets that aren't based on something that we've already
seen.
happen.
I see. Okay.
Now don't let's not confuse things here. If I see something happen and I catch a book off guard, I'm not like, oh,
Yeah.
sorry for the sports book. No. I'll hit them.
You'll slam it.
I'll hit them when, where, and how I can. However, our bets are all called based on what has happened, not what we've seen happen that hasn't been reacted to yet.
Got it.
So I'll give you a really good example of something that kind of checks both boxes of what you're talking about. FoxBet came out in the legalization in 2018. It was all across the legalized states for a fairly short period of time, but I think it ended up being 2 full football seasons. They were leaving lines open with 2 minutes left in an NFL game when teams were already kneeling out. Like, not before they started kneeling out. They were
Wow.
already kneeling out. So, they might have a spread that's already covering at minus 10,000. So you lay $10,000 to win 100, but you couldn't lose.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
that's an example where some of the guys were they were so pumped up for those moments where they caught the books, just in totally vulnerable. So yeah, I didn't have Fox Bet here. I'm in Canada, but I didn't have Fox Bet here. But watching it all go down as a part of the camaraderie of the group and watching people celebrate and all that kind of stuff in those moments was always just absolutely hilarious. And it's funny because they didn't celebrate once they won; they celebrate once they got the bet in, because it was all about, come on, get it in, get it in, get it in, get as much as you can, right? All in, right? Lose the account the next day, but yeah. I think that's a good example of just like, if a book has a line they shouldn't post, we'll hit them when and where we can. But at the same time, like in the whole betting journey, you start to learn that you it might not be worth it to bet the line that's this obviously wrong. You might get voided and lose your account, when if you simply didn't bet it, you got to keep your
Yeah,
account
you
on the
live to
line.
see another day. My next question with you was going to definitely involve with where you're getting this action down, because I'm very familiar with, like, the offshore, betting space and old school bookies. Not a lot of them would be very happy to see all this live action and getting slammed on it mostly, every Saturday and Sunday. So are you putting this down on like Bovada's types of books, or is it mostly your paperhead books?
Uh, yeah, it's a real challenge. Like if you talk to anyone that's serious in the betting world, they'll oftentimes tell you, it isn't the winning that's hard. And I actually do think winning is difficult because the execution of it's not easy. But the hardest part is getting paid,
Mm-hmm.
and getting your bets in and getting your bets down. So in Canada, we have a lot of offshore sports betting options through Curacao. So some of them can work in the States. Some of them will verify players out of the States.
Hmm.
But there's a lot of cryptocurrency offshore sports books. But
Yeah.
the simple answer to that is whoever will take my action. The challenge of that is obviously getting paid. So I
Mm-hmm.
from September 2024 until today, I had $280,000 stolen from me in the
Wow.
last, yeah,
By stolen, I'm
from
assuming you
people.
just mean stiffs.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I would say 100,000 of it is going to go to court, and we'll see where that takes us. If for whatever reason I was able to win some of that, I got to pay my lawyer a fee of 25%
Hmm.
of what I get back. So there's hope for maybe 75,000 of it, but the rest is in the abyss unless you guys. We want to start name dropping some
I
people
was
that
gonna
you guys
say
might
there's a little
know, and we can make some house
some
calls.
street collectors out there.
Oh boy, Andrew, I wanted to go back to your customer base and your community. First up, do you have, would you say, a lot more U.S. or Canadian customers? Because I know we were talking about the NFL and college. Are the Canadians betting on NFL and college as much as hockey? Like, how does that look for your community? And then I'll go from
Yeah,
there.
so we're about 50-50. And I would say when we first started, there was a lot of US guys that never followed hockey, and now they'll tell you it's their favorite sport
I
because they're
love
just
hockey compared to baseball and even basketball, NBA at this point. We've talked
Yeah.
about this on the show. Hockey's doing a better job than the NBA right now.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of great things about the NHL, but yeah, our group loves betting on the NHL. So we've definitely converted some US guys into diehard hockey fans. But yeah, no, we're betting on everything. There's it's Wednesday, baseball's being played right now. There's people betting on baseball right now in our group. Pretty much goes 24/7. Guys are betting a lot of soccer this time of year. Um, in bizarre leagues, and I don't even know where they are.
So
The bets get
do
called. I'm like, what are you even talking about?
do your guys bet, like, just separate from what you offer? Are you like, if they're betting pregame, are you shutting them? I'm sure some of them got to be betting pregame just to have some action beforehand, or are they just completely all now in-game bets?
No, we do a lot of pregame in the CFL. I don't know if you guys have ever
We had a
watched the
Canadian
CFL.
handicapper on, and he was talking about the CFL, and now I've been following it a little bit more, and yeah, so I don't know that much about it, obviously, compared to you, but yeah, that's interesting.
It's a comical league. It's very corrupt too. There's a lot of bullshit that goes on in the league, but we do a lot of pregame CFL. We do a lot of live CFL. Yeah, I just love betting on football. So even if it's not real football, I still find
And
myself drawn to it. But sorry, we do pregame. There's a section in our Discord that is one guy that does a lot of pregame data and handicapping. There's every single day there's data being dumped into the group for people to make their own decisions on pregame stuff. Yeah, as far as our bets call and that get called and tracked, and the data in our group that kind of you can go to inplaylive.com and click on free tools, and you can always track our performance on how we're doing. I'd say it's like 98 to 99% live.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then going back to your community, like how many people are in that? What's the real separator or differentiator outside of the live that you feel, you know, just why your community is better than those out there in the market? There's a million different sports betting discords, but why in play live?
Yeah, sure. I think that's a good question. So there's 400 of us in the group right now. We'll probably tick up to around 500 in the next month, with NFL and college football starting. Um, I think what differentiates In Play Live from, I would say, any betting service, just in general, is going to be the fact that we're not like a pay for pick service. That would be the first thing I'd say.
Yeah.
We teach people how to win. So what's nice about In Play Live is you can go through the educational aspects of what it is that we offer, and that can give you a little bit of confidence. It might leave you feeling a little bit confused. It might get you pumped up and ready to go, whatever the case is. But then you join our live stream, like what I was mentioning for one of those college Saturdays, and whether you can do the whole day or not, when you come on, you know you're getting some hand holding along the way, where you go, whether this bet wins or loses, there is a positive expected value on the wager based on the in-play live data and everything that they do. So that gives you the confidence to place those bets, hopefully in a responsible and sort of money management, bankroll oriented way, which of course we teach as well. But we train people to be such sports bettors that once they've hit a certain level, number one, they probably don't need to be on our streams anymore. They could do a lot of it on their own. But number two, they're in a position where the community's helping itself. And I've become a tremendously better sports better from launching and play live. The level I'm at now is infinitely higher than where it was when we started the company. And that isn't because of me, it's because of the community and how they've grown as betters and been able to help and teach me. So I would say the biggest thing isn't like picks or paying for picks or any crap like that. I would say it's about, actually learning skills that change your life forever.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, know you have that master class up. What does that programmer look like? The cost, maybe like how long it takes to complete that master class. I haven't checked it out fully, but I know you guys are offering that, so figured this was a good transition to dive into that a little bit here.
Yeah, I would say that the masterclass in the grand scheme of things isn't why people join, but if you were to join in play live, you do watch that first. It's kind of like a 4 to 5 hour, more than anything, psychological orientation on winning mindset and some different strategies that are going to help you kind of turn and engage your brain in the right way, to bet responsibly and bet hopefully profitably. You guys probably know this firsthand, but for me, I referenced that first parlay I made in the NFL. I used to be a losing better. I think everyone was at some point. I don't think you just like dive in and win, because it's not like trading stocks where like there's an expected value for the trader on day one. It's the other way around. There's an expected value for the house on day one. So, you are in an arena that's designed for you to lose. Now, for me, once I started finding my first edges, it changed absolutely everything. I stopped making parlays. I didn't have to like, I was the kind of guy that, like, if I had some drinks in my early 20s, once the bar closed, I loved going to play a little bit of blackjack at the casino, not like in just in hopes of winning some money to like help me pay for rent and money that I didn't have either. So like I was a gambler. And once I started finding the edges, it's like all of that was cold turkey and it wasn't difficult. I can walk through a casino floor and never place a bet without a problem. Or even considering looking at, a roulette wheel or a blackjack table. Do I do that stuff from time to time and when I'm in Vegas? Sure, but it's totally recreational. and 100% in control. So from a mindset shift, it's funny when you start winning how it totally changes the way you look at not just that one thing you're winning at, but everything. You start taking a new approach to uh, every game you watch, every sports book you pull up, and you're looking for things that could potentially lead to long-term profit. So I would say the masterclass largely encompasses that process and hopefully helps people be ready to engage in that style of betting on day one. Because as you guys know firsthand, a lot of people in the betting world have terrible habits.
Yep.
They come in as losers. They come in with terrible bankroll management. They come in a lot with a lot of debt, right? Like these guys rack up credit cards, cut them up, throw them in the trash, and never pay the bill times 100, right? So, um, hopefully you can start to purify a few of those things in some of these players that do see the masterclass or do get oriented with some of our educational content out there that is free as well, and make a positive change.
Gotcha. Well, one last question. We got to wrap up here in a minute, but what do you see as the real future of live betting? I know myself and obviously what you're doing in Play Live, we're both very much in the space, but there's still a lot of, I guess, stragglers. I've read numbers that, next couple of years, it's going to be 70% of wagers are going to be in plays. But what do you see as the main future of live betting? Will it completely overtake the pregame betting experience, or are we always going to see closer to like that 50-50 split?
I mean, I went boating on the weekend and knew I wasn't going to be on the live streams and placed a pregame parlay on the CFL before I hit the boat. Like that stuff's never not going to be there. Every time I go to Vegas, like just pure nostalgia. I go get the physical ticket pregame. I lose most of the time. Um, I never won't do it. It's just like separately of anything to do with winning money, losing money, whatever. Sports betting makes anything just so much more interesting. I would never watch curling. I would never watch the CFL. Um, you start flipping a coin and you flip it 10 times, you're going to make the person fall asleep next to you. But if you start putting $100 on each side, all of a sudden it's the most exciting thing in the world. So, gambling's entertaining, sports betting's entertaining. Pre-game's here to stay 100%. When it comes to live betting, what we've seen is sports books offer more and more and more and more and more and more and more markets to try to be as competitive as possible. Those markets oftentimes have had the biggest edges to the player. So we're starting to see some of that stuff get cleaned up a little bit. And obviously with these same game parlays and lottery ticket type approach to betting that the sports books love pushing on us as much as they possibly can because they have the highest profit to the sports books of any other wagers that get made. We've seen that transition into live, so we can do some same game parlays live and things like that. And oh my God, the books that offer that kind of stuff, we have absolutely turned inside out.
We
for
love
some
to
of the
we,
stuff
we
they've-
love to hear that. Our company name, Make Vegas Pay. That's what we're always trying to do. But Andrew Pace, it's been a pleasure. Where can the folks find you on social media?
Yeah, so we have a podcast called Behind the Lines. You can just search In Play Live on YouTube or any of the major podcast channels, and we're there. We break down a whole bunch of things each week, from news in the betting space to what sports books are doing to their players and exposing the sports books as much as we possibly can. And I do think that you can learn quite a bit from those podcast episodes, so you can check us out there. And then pretty much it's just In Play Live on all the socials. I would say we're predominantly on Instagram more than anywhere else. But then inplaylive.com if you want to check out what we're doing, take some of our free training and see if it's of interest to you.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure. We're looking forward to meeting you next week at Bet Bash. That'll be fun. We'll have some stories from that. But it's been a pleasure. Good luck with the move, and we'll see you next week in Vegas.
Thanks for having me, guys. Awesome show.
All right, later, brother. All righty. Most live betting knowledge we've definitely
That
learned.
was educational.
Yeah, he knows his shit.
He knows his shit.
He
That's
knows
for damn
his shit. Good guy.
Great guy, very profitable and wealthy
We'll
guy. I
we'll
mean,
talk with him more at Bet Bash next week.
I hate to be in that position where you're owed almost $300,000, but shit, I'd love to be in a position where I'm owed $300,000. Means I'm a pretty damn good bettor. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can collect some of that.
Yeah, that was super informative to me. But yeah, we'll dive into some topics here. Keep it light today. First up, obviously a lot of NFL holdouts going on. Well, I don't know what the Trey Hendrickson thing, but do you think McLaurin and Micah they leaving?
McLaurin, do I think he leaves? No, because I think the Commanders and Washington understands the type of idiocy that's coming if they let him leave. I mean, they are just finally starting to turn the corner after what was, I don't know, a decade of pretty much sucking.
Yeah, I mean, it was partially the Dan Schneider and all that
they
shit.
really haven't been good since the RG3 days type of thing. So they're just now starting to turn a corner. And if you let your superstar, I'd put him in the, all right, maybe borderline superstar wide receiver leave over $2 to $3 million a year, that's crazy to me, in my opinion. You just got your quarterback. Like, they balled out last year, and you're going to let him walk over $2 to $3 mil? I think that's wrong. Micah, I just read yesterday that apparently him and Jerry are speaking, and
I feel like they're gonna pay Micah like 40.
Yeah, they'll pay
$40 million.
Jerry's not going to let him walk.
Yeah, it's so interesting with these fucking holdouts.
But would be a crazy haul.
Yeah.
For Micah, that haul would be insane.
Yeah. Next up, diving into college a little bit. So they just released the top 25 rankings, as I've been talking offline with you. 3 top 10 matchups week 1. The SEC show on Netflix came out. So
Awesome.
No, you're a big SEC guy.
Ready to run through a brick wall.
Yeah. I'm not really a fan of the Florida coach, but we'll see how they do this year. But it's definitely getting me into it.
Oh, yeah. They dropped that at the perfect time.
I mean, in terms of, like, for week 1, the actual week 1, not week 0 with the Ireland bullshit, whatever.
Week 1.
Are you, out of these games, Clemson, LSU, Texas, Ohio State, Bama, Florida State, Miami, Notre Dame, outside of that Ohio State, Texas game, what game are you most looking forward to out of that slate there? I know me and you are getting more into college. We'll be talking about it more this year.
More into college, and especially SEC as a whole.
I would say that Clemson LSU game.
Clemson LSU is
night.
firing me up. That's definitely a good one. I would love to say Bama FSU, but
FSU's dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe they shock some people and turn some heads this year. But I have a feeling that Bama's probably going to win by at least 2 to 3 possessions.
And then Notre Dame, Miami.
I don't know. You can't trust Miami yet because you don't know what they're going to get with Carson.
Isn't he dating one of the Cavenders?
I thought he broke. I think he cheated on her and they broke up or something. I forgot.
Something
went down there.
That'll be. But the first big new kickoff. Also, Cuse is playing Tennessee. We're probably gonna get boat raced, but yeah, we'll talk that week more about like the actual bets and picks. But Texas, Ohio State. They did a great job with scheduling.
Yes,
I love that they're the NFL's not on, so you got to fucking take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
And put these big games on, and Arch Manning going into Ohio State, it's gonna be man.
Yeah.
And then, you're not a huge fan of the kid on Ohio State that everybody raves about. Well,
that's just because I'm biased to Ryan Williams.
Yeah, you're a Bama guy. Oh, you're wearing the fucking...
I am. I watched the first 2 episodes of the SEC, show, and I'm ready to go. I'm fired up.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the Bama episode.
The Bama episode's going to be good. But yeah, no, we have... The SEC has 4 ranked teams inside the top 9, leads all conference with 9 teams in the poll, obviously.
Yeah, that's standard SEC stuff. That's standard.
Them in the Big Ten, it's just...
Yeah.
How
many is there in the Big Ten? Ohio State, Michigan,
I'm looking right now.
Is that it?
6 teams. Illinois, Michigan, Indiana.
Yeah.
The Big 12 has 5. Arizona State, Kansas State, who's playing Iowa State, BYU, and Texas Tech. And the BYU had lost the Jew guy. I don't know what happened there.
It's the Jew guy.
BYU, yeah. Now's the time to make the Jew jokes. But in terms of college, I just wanted to give a quick tidbit that I think I'm going to probably just send out to our clients most of the year. The ranked versus unranked, you get it's like a 62% hit rate, especially when you're taking it teams that are 10 to 25 versus an unranked team.
What, on the spread?
Spread, and then also money line.
In terms of the favor, the dog?
The dog.
Oh, yeah. I could see that being extremely profitable.
Yeah, because, you go into a sports book and you see, hey, fucking top 25 versus a non-top 25, you're going to fucking take the team that's the top 25 every day. Especially if they're 20 to 25, they're playing someone unranked. I was watching the Any Given Sunday show, and Florida beat a couple teams. SEC, anybody can fucking win. So, looking at those early season lines, that's what I would be looking at for college. And then for college, the other thing that the sharps, you already know this, the fucking totals, bro.
Yeah.
The totals is, guys, if you want a real sharp market for, NFL, yes, the totals you can still get a sharp market, but college football, I mean, some of these games are.
Same thing with college. It's the same thing as college basketball. The two main college sports, football and basketball, you can make extreme money on the totals just because of how
Especially
much,
on the rando team.
Yeah, how much the lines get fucking steamed and shit. You see like those D1 AA lines, getting moved 8 points by kickoff.
Yeah, like the Citadel or Incarcerate Ward. I'm like, who the fuck are these colleges? Oh my god. But last week of this, we're wrapping it up. Thank God. Shout out Lindsay, our intern. I know you're very shout out Lindsay. Woo.
Lindsay, what a pimp.
We're working on some AI stuff with Lindsay.
The picture of me getting a beer with Baker.
Yeah, that's doing good. We're
stuff.
gonna have more AI
Let's pull
stuff.
that up.
Mons is leading the AI. Ben doesn't even know about this AI stuff. We're moving towards.
Tate McRae posted another video.
Oh God! All right, let's not talk about her. All right, over unders. The first one.
On that one.
Showing Matt with Baker.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look
That
like
one.
you, dude.
There it is.
It doesn't even look like it.
Yeah, me and Baker getting a beer.
Ben's like, who the fuck is that guy? We're gonna work on those AI photos, guys. It's gonna be a big AI for Make Vegas Pay this year, especially on Twitter. Mon's gonna be leading that charge there. But over unders, we're gonna start off over under 9.5 with Baker Mayfield and the Bucks. I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah.
Oh wow, look at this. We got the timer already on. Fuck yeah. Baker Mayfield and the Bucks over 9.5 wins. I think they easily win that division. Too many questions Saints, not even gonna talk about them, but Carolina quarterback Bryce Young, I still have questions on. Michael Penix, I saw him for 3 games last year. They lost some of their O linemen there. Bucks picked up another really good receiver from Ohio State, the kid Buka. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I'm gonna go 9. I think they get 10 or 11 wins. But what do you think, Mons?
I agree. I think they go at least 4-2, if not 5-1 in that division. And then it's just a matter of winning a few, out of division games, which I think they do. I agree with that. Like
the Saints are gonna be dog shit.
Yeah, the Saints probably will be the worst team in the NFL.
You missed last week. We were talking about Arch Manning and some potential destinations, and
definitely one of them.
One thing I proposed, which I'd like to get your thoughts on, Ashley, because we didn't even make a clip on this yet. I was suggesting the Giants just suck. Hire fucking Peyton Manning as the head coach. Draft Arch. You already have elite receiver, left tackle. A little crazy, but
I mean, yeah, that's a wild thing. I mean, has Peyton even showed any interest at all in being a coach?
I don't know, but that situation.
I don't think he would want to coach. I think he's very happy living his life.
He's doing the
Tennessee.
producing of the
all
Netflix.
of
He does
that.
the quarterbacks. He does the announcing.
I mean, if that's their plan, then why would you waste a first-round draft pick on Jackson Dart?
I don't know. That was random Swice idea
Yeah,
here. All right,
awful
moving on to the
bad one.
next over under.
Shit idea.
Thanks. Pittsburgh Steelers over under. Yeah, Ben's even doing it back there. Pittsburgh Steelers over under 8.5. Does Mike Tomlin keep getting to 9 wins? And I'm going to say yes, he does get to 9 wins. Probably exactly 9 wins this year. With that defense, when TJ Watt plays, I've gone over this on social media before, their record is incredible. Rodgers at the end of last year was great. They still have some issues on offense, but I like their defense, their coaching, and Rodgers is just not going to make a mistake. So tough division, but I think they get to 9 again and stay over 500 barely.
I think so too. Until like Tomlin gives me a reason to think otherwise. What was that? Ben
Was that
calling.
Ben?
Unbelievable.
Wow.
A lot of door action this episode too. What the fuck was
They
that?
had a lot
about?
going on with the red jacket over there. A lot going on
Looks
today.
good. I think Tomlin and the Steelers get 9. I do.
He's had enough sports talk, that's why. Yeah. Mike Tomlin, Ben. Great coach. Great underdog coach. But you know who I'm most excited about being back? Mike fucking Vrabel being a great underdog coach. He was my Titans guy. I have this I don't know.
You have a weird thing
I don't
with
know.
the Titans, and it's burned you so many times.
Seattle's the other one that's burned me, but I'm not betting on Darnold. Last team, which we talked about a little bit. This is the last one, so you better come prepared. Washington Commanders over under 9.5. I'll let you start.
I'll go under because
Wow.
I think there's
Kind of like CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I think there's a sophomore regression. I don't know about. I'm not going to go as far as say a sophomore slump, but there will be some regression. And I think that the NFC East has definitely improved. Like, I'll give the Giants their flowers as much as a lot of people don't want to.
And Dak's back.
I think the Cowboys are not going to be as
long as they don't
easy.
lose Micah.
Yeah, true.
If they lose Micah, that's a different story.
But
and if they lose McLaurin in Washington, that's also a big hit.
Very, very, biasly or whatever the word is, I hope that they do lose him to the Pats. Selfishly.
Yeah.
Selfishly.
That would be interesting.
Be awesome for Drake. But I'll go under, but not under by much. What'd you say the line was? 9.5?
9.5.
Yeah, I could see 9.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
And it'll be. I could see 9 and a dogfight for a wild card spot.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm gonna go over actually, barely. I think they'll
think 10.
I think they figure it out with McLaurin. I love the coaching staff there. Daniels, yes, he'll regress a bit, but Giants defense is solid, but their offense is gonna be terrible. Dallas is Dallas. I just the way Daniels looked last year, people are saying he's top 5 quarterback. We went over the rankings.
Yeah, I know, that's absurd. He looked great. Don't get me wrong. He looked great, but that's absurd.
Is he better than Dak? That's a
very good comparison. I don't know if he's better than Dak. I don't know.
Clearly in the playoffs, he's better than
Yeah, clearly. But I'm not going to take a quarterback just off of one good year. Dak has had multiple
Stroud
solid
did
good years.
come down in a shit division. So
I don't know. Ask the question of you're down by 4 and you need a touchdown with 2 minutes to go. You're taking me. Yeah, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know.
He was clutch as fuck last year.
Yeah, but take away his Hail Mary.
He also, hold on, speaking of LSU, since they were in the any given Saturday show, fucking Malik Neighbors and Brian, dude, they always have loaded receivers there in Ohio State. It's crazy.
You mean LSU?
Yeah, well, Ohio State does too. I love Jeremiah Smith. But we did a little yes and no in the playoffs last week. I'm going to keep this definitely easier. Yes or no to make the playoffs. Detroit Lions, I'm plus 150. I'm going no on the plus. I think they're not going to make the playoffs because they lost their center. I'm big on the O-lines, but even more so, losing your OC and DC and not really replacing them with guys out of the building. Dan Campbell is not a scheme coach. He's a motivation hype guy. So I think the Lions fall off and don't make the playoffs, especially in their competitive division. I could see the Bears having a better record, so I'm not a huge Lions believer this year.
I think that's a classic you being too cute. I think that's a you betting on the Titans week 18.
You really don't think the coordinator stuff is a big deal?
No,
Dan
I think
Campbell
it's a big
does
deal,
not call plays.
I think they sneak into the playoffs still. The question was, do they make the playoffs? I think that's you being too cute. That was a loud drink. Did you hear that? You could hear that shit go all the way down the throat. Holy moly.
I got to do that away from
Yeah, dude. Whoa. Sounded disgusting. So
that
Jewish.
Ben just laughing in the background today is getting me going. All right. Playoff teams. Let's see if you have any of these as yeses. They're all like pretty big plus odds, and then I'll share mine. Seahawks, Jaguars, Cowboys, Colts, Dolphins, and Panthers. Are any of those making the playoffs? I can repeat them if you want.
Yeah, you fucking crap.
All right.
Seahawks,
Jags, Cowboys, Colts, Dolphins, Panthers. Are any of those making the playoffs?
Colts, no. Daniel Jones has been giving Anthony Richardson a run for it. And Daniel Jones has made the playoffs and won a playoff game. But I don't know. I'm not going to think too hard on this. Colts, no.
Dolphins,
no.
yeah, definitely not. Panthers,
Panthers, that division's ass. This division's really shitty. Besides the Bucs.
We just talked about the Bucs.
I know,
but they only get one division spot.
I'm not going to overthink it. No. Cowboys, yes. If they stay healthy.
Yes.
Dak, if they stay healthy. With a healthy Dak, yes.
All right, and then Jacksonville and Seattle.
Jacksonville, no. Seattle.
I don't know what I'm getting with Darnold in an outdoor rain situation with not that offensive head coach and Justin Jefferson and everything kind of in place for you.
Yeah, you just sold me with your Jewishness.
I'm gonna go just because I like the odds. It's a sprinkle, right? It's nothing crazy.
Big sprinkle guy.
Yeah, you got
chocolate sprinkles.
I love ice cream. Carvel. Man, some crumble would be great.
Why are you touching yourself thinking about ice cream?
Just the stomach. I've been working out a lot. I've been working out a lot. Don't even get me started. I did a 7 a.m. fucking yoga class today. Anyways, Indianapolis Colts plus 200. Ben, lock that and sprinkle that shit. Fucking plus 200. Yeah, he's holding the nose over there. Colts, if Daniel Jones starts, if Richardson starts, he's like, I'm looking at the picture, and it's Jamarcus Russell, him, and DeKaiser with under 50% completion percentage. Ben could fucking throw 50% completion percentage. That guy was ass. Fucking start Daniel Jones. You have Shane Steichen, a good old line, Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman, that guy Alec Pierce, Indianapolis Colts. Shock the world to win that division.
Thank you.
And I'm going to a game in Houston. Same weekend you have that wedding.
Thank you.
All right. That was hype.
Great.
All right.
Motivation.
In other news, going into food, because we have to go into food to wrap up here. Thank you, Lindsay, for putting together some more ideas. A lot of thank you, Lindsay's today.
Start rubbing your belly.
No, I'm not. The top 3, and this is for everyone in the room here. Top 3, and Mons, you should be ready because I told you this before. Top 3 tailgating foods, podium picks. Mons?
Give me, see, people are going to hate it, but, I'm all about the boneless. I mean, I'm gonna put burgers and
tailgating.
dogs. Yeah, burgers and dogs is one.
Okay, that's
like that's that. I'm gonna combine that.
Ben, is that kosher? Burgers and dogs is one for the podium pick.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make a hot dog and a burger. Same shit. Normal barbecue. So burgers and dogs definitely. Like
we're talking about like at like a parking lot.
And I'm gonna combine this as to one as well because I'm not gonna.
It's a lot of combinations.
Yeah, but whatever. Like. Chips and dips, but not like salsa. I'm talking like buff chick dip.
Oh, that's so you sold that. I wrote that on the doc.
You really think I look at the fucking doc? Chips and dip, like spinach and artichoke dip, and like the real dips. And then I like pulled pork. Yeah, pork. Some type of pulled pork.
That's a super like SEC thing. All right, that's an interesting. You gave like a lot of groups there. I'm gonna say for dips, as I had it listed, fucking buff chick dip, dude. This fucking that's the goated one. If I'm in a cold weather spot, I know this is gonna be like random. If it's like really cold, because I could have used this when I was in Cleveland last year, and you keep posting memes of me. Chili.
Okay, I like it.
And then the third one, I'm just gonna. You've gotten me hooked on the boneless, but I got to go bone in. I get messy at a tailgate.
That's not what you want. You're going to be at a tailgate, like just fucking face cover, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
He eats Ben, he'll eat wings, and like it's up here. And the best part is like, I don't know if it's like a Jewish like freak out or like he has fine motor skills issues because he got born early apparently. His mom even backed him up on it. I don't know. But like anything he does with like messiness needs to be cleaned in excess. So then there's like we'll go out, and he'll order wings or something. Not bullshitting. 50 fucking napkins. Just sitting there in this giant pile now.
All right, I think that's time for the show. Ben's calling the show off right now.
Ben's not stopping me. He's letting you go.
He's letting you go. All right, well, that's our tailgating foods there. I kind of want to hear what Ben's top 3 would be. Usually he's on the mic. Ben, you want to...
over there, Ben.
Lindsay wants to hear, I think.
Shout out, Linz.
Yeah. Let's hear your top 3 tailgating foods. I know Ben's a big foodie here. Shout out What's Up again, randomly.
Ooh, top 3.
Yeah.
Tailgate.
Top 3 tailgate.
We got to get this on before we wrap up. You got to be at a tailgate, like in a parking lot. We're not talking about at a bar.
No, I know you said pulled pork, which is always slaps. You ever do pulled chicken?
No.
I've had pulled chicken.
I love a pulled chicken slider.
Right. Like barbecue on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Frank's Red Hot. You can change whatever kind of thing. I love a good...
Ben's a big food guy.
Yeah, I like those. Those are good.
Oh, you know what I forgot? Fucking mini hot dogs. Or mozzarella sticks.
I was going to say, I mean, those finger foods are, no joke. So definitely mozzarella sticks. We got,
I love mozzarella sticks. So good.
I want to say like nachos, but you can't really, there's not like
that's
a
so
tailgate,
messy.
but like, what's something that's like really... Yeah, the mini hot dogs, those are good. Let me think of one more. All right. I'm going to say this and you guys are going to say, what? You guys ever had pot stickers at a tailgate?
Not at a tailgate. I've had pot stickers.
Yeah, so I've been to one where they've had like just a bunch of different flavors, shrimp, pork, and chicken. Pot stickers.
Fire.
Fire.
that.
You could just they give
Was
you.
that like an Asian thing?
I mean, pot stickers are Asian, I assume, but it was just no. He wasn't Asian who brought the pot stickers. But,
Interesting. Pot stickers. All right.
yeah, it's a.
We got that there. Well, guys, this has been a great episode. Andrew Pace, that was a breath of knowledge. We will hear him speak next week. I'm sure he'll have a lot to say. Mons, any parting words for the people?
I don't know. Be safe in Vegas next week, Simon, and
Should people watch Tire Season 2?
obvi.
We have to get that in.
Greetings!
Yeah, we're doing that.
Come on down to Valley Forge Auto this Saturday.
Yeah, it was supposed to be greetings from Podcast Junkies in Boca Raton, Florida.
And you botched it.
I watched it. Ben, if you haven't watched Tires yet, watch it. But it's been a pleasure, guys. Mons and I will be out in Las Vegas, Nevada, all of next week at Bet Bash Circus Sportsbook. We'll record some stuff out there. I'm looking at the wrong camera. We will be at Bet Bash next week. So Mons' first work conference, which is
looking there like
which is a big deal for Mons. He's going to be doing speed networking. So we're going to talk about.
Oh yeah, big speed networking.
He's a big speed networking guy. Maybe he'll big pants guy. Some people wear shorts there, and he's definitely going to call them out.
Don doesn't wear shorts.
Don doesn't wear shorts. If you've watched The Sopranos, but it's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you to Podcast Junkies, Ben and team here. We got a big crew on here today.
All right,
great
Simon,
show.
It's done. Wrap it up.
Next we'll see you in 2 weeks.